establish the decree and sign the writings that it be not changed, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which altereth not.
According to the law of the Medes and Persians. Excuse me, they're not great statute. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about Nebuchadnezzar. It's not a great statute. It was just a petition or a decree saying that you have to ask the king within 30 days to praise another God. But he telling you right here, this law of the Medes and the Persians, which shall not be altered. And the law was, if you are praising another God without Darius' consent, you get put in the lion's den. But go ahead.
Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree.
He signed it. Go ahead.
Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his window being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem.
James said, I don't care, I'm gonna do what I always do. I'm gonna go in my house and I'm gonna pray toward Jerusalem. That's why we open up with prayer toward the east, toward Jerusalem. Go ahead.
He kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before God as he did aforetime.
He said he opened up his chamber toward Jerusalem. Understand that that was a law, but that was a law to pray toward Jerusalem. And that still stands today. If you want to hear God's eye, pray to the land. You want to you want God to answer your prayer, pray to the land. He hears that. Go ahead.
Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God.
See, there goes feet running into swift mischief. They run into this mischief. They seen him doing it. They're going to go back and tell the king. Tell them. Jump down to verse 16. Go ahead.
Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions.
Yes, sir.
Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, Thy God whom thy servant continually, he will deliver thee.
Go ahead.
And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet, and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might be changed concerning Daniel.
So when he put Daniel in there too, he wrote a great stone over it so nobody wouldn't come in and put his stamp on it. Nobody don't touch this but the king. And we believe me, the king didn't want to do that at all. He loved Daniel. Loved him a lot. He gonna tell you, go ahead.
18. Then the king went to his palace, passed the night fasting. Neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him.
So he was fasting, hoping that Daniel's all right. He loved Daniel. Go ahead.
Then the king rose very early in the morning and went in haste unto the dens of lions.
You know how he go in there and say, hey, Daniel. He trying to see, hopefully he can hear his voice. Go ahead, he gonna hear his voice.
And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God, whom thy servant continually able to deliver thee from the lions?
He was kind of shaky. He thought Daniel was dead. But Daniel wasn't dead. God protected him. Go ahead.
Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever.
He said, I'm here, king. Ain't nothing happened to me. Ain't nothing happened to me. Look what happened. Go ahead.
My God has sent his angel and has shut the lions' mouth, that they have not hurt me. For as much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt.
You see how God delivered you in a time when you think you're going to fall. I'm pretty sure he kind of was shaking a little bit, but he kept his eyes on God. He said, he shut those lions' mouth. Didn't nothing happen to me. Didn't nothing happen to me. When you come up against your bosses, when you come up against people, your mama, your dad, and brothers and sisters, they ain't gonna be able to stand up against his word because you can read it and he gonna protect you. But when you come in there faking it, he can't protect you at all. Well, go ahead. This is what he say here.
Then was the king exceedingly glad for him,
He was glad.
and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den.
Yes, sir.
So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no man of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his God.
I understand this. If he was glad this happened, but believe me, the king gonna deal with the one that lied on Daniel. He gonna deal with it. That's why I tell you, when you tell lies, when they come back on you now, you got to sow, you got to reap what you sow. Go ahead.
24. And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the dens of lions. Them, their children, their wives, and the lions had the mastery of them, and break all their bones in pieces over or ever they came at the bottom of the den.
You see, man, how we can get our whole family killed because we did this mischief or trying to do something that's not about this book. He killed their children, all the men, he got them all the way up. Say, throw them all in the lion's den. They have nothing to do with this, their children. But you can put your family in a situation where they get dealt with, they get killed, they get hurt. These lions so hungry they were jumping up. Get them before they even hit the ground. This is what he did to them. This mischief. You think you're doing okay for a minute, but until they find out you lying. Okay, you got to pay the piper now. Y'all see them out these channels. Almost like they get away with it. But then one little kink in the evidence shows that they are lying. Now you got to be sentenced to death or life in prison. But these men right here, they sentenced to death and their families. Understand that. Mischief. This is what he hates. Don't devise a plan trying to take nobody down, especially a man of God. You mess with a man of God, you're going to get dealt with quick. Let's continue. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 6. We finished with that one? Okay, go ahead. Two more.
Then King Darius wrote unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth.
Go ahead.
Peace be multiplied unto you.
Yes, sir.
I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom men tremble in fear before the God of Daniel.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And he made a decree, meaning a law, that every man follow the God of Daniel. That's how powerful he is. Understand, your God don't play, the God of Israel don't play. You stand with it, he gonna exalt you up. He gonna keep you up there. But you might go through a little something every now and then. Don't lose faith. He said, I make a decree that every dominion of my kingdom men tremble and fear before the God of Daniel. Go ahead.
For he is the living God,
Living God.
and steadfast forever.
Yes, sir.
And his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even unto the end.
They got the king on Daniel's side now. He'll grant you peace with your enemies. That's what he did here. Let's go to it's Proverbs chapter 6. Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 19. Let's deal with these other two things. We got to understand what God likes and what he dislikes. And he hates this. Men's feet running swift to mischief. These scriptures are written for our example so we'll understand what's going on.
That's right.
So you won't think that it's something new in the earth now. Ain't nothing new. Everything that's going on now always go on. Have been going on way back, way when. Everything. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Nothing. Verse 19. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 19. Go ahead.
A false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among his brethren.
You gotta understand that false witness, boy, that's some serious stuff now. That speaketh lie. Don't let nobody gas you up and say, tell them that I'm over here with you and you're not. Because a lot of people do that stuff. False witness. Let's go to Deuteronomy Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. Go look at something right quick. We're going to go to the commandment scripture. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. A lot of people got this problem. Tell me ain't over here, girl. He crazy. He gonna kill me. You better say you can deal with that yourself. Tell me ain't over here. God don't like you bearing on false witness. Be able to put on the phone. Tell me ain't here. My mama said she ain't here. God even got the kid working. He said, he told on you through your kid. And the other done that before. Before I ain't tell you to tell him that. Yeah. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. Go ahead.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt,
Yes, sir.
out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
See, this what Daniel knew. We can't have no other God before him. Well, I got to worship this God all day, every day, 24/7. I can't have another God before him. Jump down to verse 16. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
See what I'm saying? I just want to let you know that this is in the commandments. These are the laws they tell you. They've been nailed to the cross. You gotta understand, don't bear no false witness. And most of all, don't run with a lie. Especially when you don't know if that person telling the truth. You gotta get 2 or 3 people to back this up. Make sure that person is telling the truth. Before you go and say, oh yeah, she did, oh yeah, they did. Don't bear false witness on that. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 19. Let me let you see what we're talking about. Deuteronomy 19, verse 15. You got to use wisdom on this thing, huh? You got to have some wisdom. Because a person tell you something, I don't care if your mama, your daddy, your brother, so you better check it out and make sure it's true. Before you become that false witness too now. Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 15. Go ahead, brother.
One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin.
So you just can't have one witness say, oh yeah, she lied, she stole. No, you got to make sure you have 2 or 3 to make sure you tell the truth yourself. Go ahead.
In any sin that he sinned, at the mouth of 2 witnesses or at the mouth of 3 witnesses shall the matter be established.
So you got to have 3 witnesses. Like the teacher tell you in school when you're doing a book report, what you got to have? Some references. Or if you have 1 reference, what she gonna say? Oh, that's wrong. We don't know if you tell the truth or not. That's just like God. Where do you think they get it from? They get it from the book. You got to have a reference of what this person is saying is true. Everybody got to be on the same path because you can kill an innocent man because of 1 person. Y'all seen Rosewood? One woman went in there told a lie, talking about this black man raped her. And destroyed a lot of black people in that whole town. Burnt the whole town down because 1 white woman said a black man raped her. And they went with it. And she was committing adultery on her husband. And she couldn't hide the mark that that adulterous man was putting on her. Beating her down. So she said a nigga raped her. This is what happened. 1 witness. You got to have 2 or 3. Let's go and look at this in Matthew chapter 18 and verse 15. God says this in the new book too. About bearing false witness. Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. Go ahead and get it, brother.
Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
See, a lot of people got to understand this. Just because somebody else do something to you, you go all around the whole church and tell everybody but that 1 person. Take it to them first. Not take it to sister so-and-so, brother so-and-so, sister so-and-so, brother so-and-so, and then they find out about it, and it was all a misunderstanding. It was all a misunderstanding. You didn't understand what they was doing. Take it to that person first before you start creating all these little false witnesses. Go ahead, bro.
16. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee 1 or 2 more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established.
That's what we got to have. When you trying to gain a brother, okay, you told him, He won't listen to you. Go get another brother. Hey man, y'all come here and tell this guy I'm not trying to sleep with his wife. Tell him we was over there doing something. Not just saying something, but doing what we supposed to be doing, which is I probably helping out with something. But he just thought I was sleeping with her. And a lot of people go down and break up a whole church because of allegation. What they think something is going on. They think something going on.
That's right.
So you got to make sure you handle the situation, handle the business right. So you got to make sure you don't be a false witness. Let me show you about King Saul. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 31. This is a good example of a false witness. 1 Samuel chapter 31 and verse 1. This is when King Saul, how he died. The reason why I want to show you how he died because somebody told a lie on King Saul. And the lie was wrong. He had to pay for it. Bearing a false witness. So first we got to understand how Saul died. 1 Samuel chapter 31 and verse 1. Everybody all right? You got to read this book, y'all. You got to read it. So we'll take you in and let you see how Saul died, and it's going to clear up what I'm trying to bring about the false witness. Verse 1, go ahead.
Now the Philistines fought against Israel,
Uh-huh.
and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines, and fell down slain in Mount Gilboa.
Philistines had a great war against Israel, and they were losing. Go ahead.
And the Philistines fought hard upon Saul and upon his sons. And the Philistines slew Jonathan and Abinadab and Melchizedek, Saul's son.
This is how Saul's sons died, showing you that the Philistines done that. Go ahead.
And the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was sore wounded of the archers.
Talking about the bow and arrow, the archers hit him, and he was sore wounded. Go ahead.
Then said Saul unto his armor-bearer, excuse me, draw thy sword and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through and abuse me. But his armor-bearer would not, for he was so afraid. Therefore Saul took a sword and fell upon him.
So Saul wanted his armor-bearer to kill him because he didn't want these Philistines torturing him, because he knew they were going to do him bad. But his armor-bearers wouldn't do so, so Saul took the sword and fell upon Saul and killed himself. This is how he died. Go ahead.
And when his armor-bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise upon his sword and died with him.
Which is crazy, but this is how they died. But there's another story that was told by somebody else that was there, but they told the wrong story to King David. Let's go to 2 Samuel chapter, one book over, chapter 1, and we're going to start at verse 1. Go ahead, we get it.
Now it came to pass after the death of Saul, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Amalekites, and David had abode 2 days in Ziklag. It came even to pass on the 3rd day that, behold, a man came out of the camp from Saul with his clothes rent and earth upon his head. So it was when he came to David that he fell to the earth and did obeisance.
Meaning that he fell down and obeyed him. He was king. He was next to be king. But this man, he was doing something wrong. He going to bear false witness against King Saul. Go ahead.
And David said unto him, From whence cometh thou? And he said unto him, Out of the camp of Israel am I escaped.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And David said unto him, How went the matter? I pray thee, tell me. And he answered.
He said, what went down with King Saul? Tell me, because I wasn't there. He want to know. Go ahead.
That the people are fled from the battle, and many of the people also are fallen and dead.
Mm-hmm.
And Saul and Jonathan, his sons, are dead also.
Go ahead.
And David said unto the young man that told him, How knowest thou that Saul and Jonathan his sons be dead?
Go ahead.
And the young man that told him said, As I happened by chance upon Mount Gilboa, behold, Saul leaned upon his spear, and lo, the chariot and horsemen followed hard after him.
Now, did that happen to Saul?
No.
No. Go ahead.
And when he looked behind him, he saw me and called unto me, and I answered, Here I am. And he said unto me, Who art thou? And I answered him, I am an Amalekite.
He said, I'm an Amalekite. Go ahead.
He said unto me again, Stand, I pray thee, upon me, and slay me, for anguish is come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me.
Go ahead.
So I stood upon him and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after that he was fallen.
It's just a line, boy, it's a line. Well, go ahead.
And I took the crown that was upon his head, and the bracelet that was on his arm, and have brought them hither unto my Lord.
So you got to be careful now. You think you going to get some reward for this. Understand that David and Saul had some beef between each other, but David respected Saul. He could have killed Saul many times, but he understood that Saul was the anointed of God at one time. He didn't want to do that. He left him alone. But this man right here come out thinking he did a good thing. David got pissed off, boy. Go ahead.
Then David took hold on his clothes and rent them, and likewise all the men that were with him.
So he was mad, put it on his clothes, like, man, he saw David. Go ahead.
And they mourned and wept and fasted unto evening for Saul and for Jonathan his son, and for the people of the Lord, and for the house of Israel, because they were fallen by the sword.
So they left the man and went to mourn for Saul's death at the time. But the man sitting there thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna get some great reward for this. Okay. Go ahead.
And David said unto the young man that told him, Whence art thou? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger, and Amalek.
First mistake right here now. You're a stranger and you killed one of the Israelites, my king? Go ahead.
And David said unto him, How is thou not afraid to stretch forth thine hand to destroy the Lord's anointed?
He said, how you not afraid to stretch forth your hand to put your hand on the king of Israel? That's the Lord anointed. Now I'm finna get real. Go ahead.
And David called one of the young men and said,
He said, come here, one of my archers, come here, one of my soldiers. This is what I want you to do to this dude. He thinking that he about to get something good. Go ahead.
Go near and fall upon him. And he smote him that he died.
He smote him and he died. I'm just saying, David and Saul had some beef between each other, but David didn't touch Saul at all, period. But this dude, a stranger? He ain't even an Israelite. You come back and tell me that you killed my king? No, this is not gonna happen, not no stranger. You know how it is, you can take it better, man. You got your son and your daughter might be fighting. It'd be good, like, okay, y'all stop that. But when somebody else fight your son, you like, hold up, we gotta find out what's going on now. And you find out that that wasn't the story. You mad, you wanna prosecute somebody. This is what happened. This stranger come and say, oh, I killed him, man. I killed King David. King Saul. He thought he was doing something good. He said, hold up, man, we're gonna mourn for a minute. We're gonna come back and deal with you. He said, you weren't afraid to put your hand on the Lord's anointed? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 16. And David said unto him, Thy blood be upon thy head. For my mouth has testified against thee, saying, I have slain the Lord's anointed.
It's on you, man. When you bear that false witness, it's on you. You got the answer for that sin. So don't be up there saying that, oh, your cousin was over here with me that night. Yeah. You might end up going to jail for conspiracy. Same stuff is going on with our people a lot. They ain't killed nobody, but they orchestrate a way of protecting these people. And now they in jail 25 years for conspiracy. You get more time for conspiracy than you get the actual act. Oh, you the kingpin, you orchestrated the whole thing. Had Michael Vick about it. He ain't give no dog. He the only one went to jail. Conspiracy. They didn't know, but it was his house, his money. Well, he's the kingpin. We're gonna take him down. Bearing false witness. Well, let's continue. Let's go to Matthew chapter 12 and verse 46. It says, let's deal with this sowing discord amongst your brother. A lot of people don't know who their brethren are. Because they're your blood, that don't mean they care to you in God's eyes. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 46. Because you are blood sister, blood brother, blood daddy, blood cousin. That don't mean y'all blood in God's eye. And I'm going to show you that. Matthew chapter 12, verse 46. This is the time when Jesus was in the temple preaching. In the temple talking to these people. And his mother Mary wanted to see him. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 46. Let's going to show you something now. You can't love nobody more than you love God. I don't care if that's your blood mama. I don't care if that's your blood daughter, son. You better do what you're supposed to do, man. Follow him. Go ahead, verse 46.
While he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him.
This Jesus is inside the temple. He was talking. He was dealing with something. Go ahead.
Then one said unto him, Behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee.
Hey man, Jesus, your mom and brother want to talk to you. So you want me to stop what? Thus says the Lord told me to do, to go see what they want? Go ahead.
But he answered and said unto him that told him, Who is my mother, and who are my brethren?
A lot of people don't know. Who are your mother? Who are your brother? Go ahead.
And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples, and said, Behold, my mother and my brother.
See, y'all are my mother, my brother, right here. Why? Because y'all following this law. And that's how you got to look at it. If you don't see it that way, you'll go with somebody and they'll ultimately lead you to death. Ultimately lead you to death. Go ahead.
For whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my brother, and my sister, and my mother.
Let's see if anybody can be doing the will of his Father tomorrow. Let's see what they're doing today. They're breaking the God's Sabbath day today. Who are your mother and your brother? Right here. The ones that are doing the will of God, the will of the Father. You got to understand that now. You can't say, yeah, that mama. You got to do what mama say. You know, she brought me in the world. Yeah, your mama going to put you in that world of lake of fire too. If you follow her. Understand that. Let's go to Numbers chapter 16. Let me give you an example of that. Of sowing discord amongst brothers. When you sow discord amongst brethren, you telling somebody, oh, that's that old law, he ain't got to do that no more. Or you telling people that ain't how God meant. Numbers chapter 16 and verse 1. You better know what you're talking about. Because you can get yourself and your whole family killed. We already seen that. Numbers chapter 16 and verse 1. Give y'all a good example of that. Sowing discord amongst brothers. When God calls you to do a job, he meant for you to do it. Just like Israel. He called Israel to teach his book, he meant for Israel to do it. When Israel don't do it, everything goes wrong. That's the reason why we got folks flying off in heaven right now. That's the reason why we got people dying, we got Jesus dying Good Friday and resurrected up on Easter Sunday. Because Israel wasn't doing their job. Numbers chapter 16 and verse 1. This is the time when Moses was in the wilderness with the Israelites, and they tried to take over. But God's going to deal with it. Verse 1, go ahead.
That's right. Now, co-op the sons of Ishmael, the sons of Kohath, the
Look at
sons,
them names, man. Go ahead. You best again, man.
the sons of Levi, and David,
Uh-huh.
and Abiram, the
Uh-huh.
sons of Eliab,
Yes,
and
sir.
On, the sons of Pelet, sons of Reuben, took me.
These are the sons. He took me.
And they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly,
Go ahead.
famous in the congregation, men of renown.
Uh-huh.
And they gathered themselves together against Moses.
See,